Okay, so for me, therapy has been life-changing. I was diagnosed with autism at age 31, which was just last year. I am in regular psychotherapy. It's made so much difference in my life, and I'm here today to share with you some of the challenges and how to deal with those challenges. So number one, finding a therapist. Wow, where to start? I live in a pretty populated city that has a lot of resources and a lot of doctors, and it's still incredibly difficult to find someone who specializes in autism, especially for autism in adults. My psychologist does specialize in adult autism. She has no other recommendations for me for professionals who specialize in adult autism because there aren't any. And I live in a really big city. That can be kind of frustrating, but there's good news. There's a lot of ways that therapy can benefit you, even if you're not working with someone who specializes in autism. I'm going to post some links in the description that can help you kind of narrow your search. There's plenty of great websites where you can filter out what you're looking for, the area that you're looking for, the type of specialty that you're looking for, the type of insurance that you have, and it'll kind of whittle it down and show you the results with all the contact information. I will share that for you in the description. I think it's psychologytoday.com. And also, I think just start somewhere. It can be overwhelming, so do your research and then make a decision. Part of the process is just trial and error, unfortunately, because I know that it can be an investment in terms of cost, but you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your future and your well-being, and it's so, so important. Secondly, how do you know what type of therapy that you need? You may have heard about ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis. There's a lot of controversy about this type of therapy in the autistic world. The main idea is that you increase helpful behaviors and you decrease socially inappropriate behaviors or behaviors that impede education. So for a lot of people, especially with children, this can be kind of problematic because you don't want to keep the kids from being who they feel like they need to be by having them suppress certain elements of their behavior. I've met some professionals who feel like it can be helpful on some level if it's really well studied by the person who's offering the therapy and they only use it for certain elements that are actually harmful to the kid to help them decrease those behaviors. But in terms of being an adult, I will tell you what has worked best for me. And it sounds cheesy and kind of woo, but it really is taking the time to connect with my own sense of self and my own body. I know that sounds so woo. Stick with me here. My experience with autism has been that I get caught up in my head. I'm constantly in my mind thinking through things, overthinking, processing. And in therapy, I'm learning how to sit with how things feel in my body, how to slow down my pace of life, how to actually process what this feels like, what this means for me, what it means for my family, rather than just pushing through all of these experiences, doing the best I can until I hit a meltdown or a shutdown. And if you're autistic, you probably understand what those are, where you've done too much and it's going to take you some time to recover. Therapy for me is having someone to share all these experiences with that won't judge me, because our experiences are way different than neurotypicals, and just having someone validate our experience as okay, and seeing what we've gone through and how hard it actually is to be neurodiverse in a neurotypical world. So sharing your experiences and then having someone remind you, all right, well, how does that actually feel to have that experience? How did you feel like you had to adapt in order to be okay in that situation? There's an awesome book I want to share with y'all called Who You Were Meant to Be by an amazing psychologist, author, Lindsay C. Gibson. The book is not about autism. It doesn't mention it one time, but it's a really great resource and guide for getting back in touch with who you are and what you want and what your desires are. I think that's so important for us on the spectrum because so often we spend our lives trying to camouflage and become what the world wants us to be. I feel like it's my new textbook for life. It's my Ask Me Bible that I kind of come back to and remind myself, here's how to get back in touch with who you really are. One of the main challenges is finding the right provider for you. So after you do choose someone, I've had an experience in the past where I spent several weeks, months in therapy with someone and we just weren't clicking. She didn't really understand where I was coming from. She was trying to help, but her approaches, her techniques, they weren't resonating with me. That is okay. There are so many different approaches to therapy, and if you've stuck with it for a little while, make sure you do give it some time to see if it can catch on for you. But if you've given it a while and it just doesn't feel right, trust your gut and try a different provider. I promise you that it's worth it to keep pursuing this because you're worth it, and this is an investment in your health and your well-being. Also, remember to advocate for yourself. So if your therapist doesn't exactly know how to help you with autism, you can still say, okay, here's what I've learned about myself. I have trouble with sensory processing. I get overstimulated easily. I have rules that I have to operate by in social situations. As much as you can share with them and be your own advocate, that can really help them see you and be able to help you articulate. That's one of the biggest things my psychologist does for me. She'll repeat back to me what I'm trying to say, but in like the words that I'm looking for, and I'm like, yes. Lastly, I wanted to share the option of online therapy. There's one platform that I really like that I've used before called Talkspace. I'm not being paid to promote that. I've just used it in the past and I really like it. There's a lot of promotions that are run that make it more affordable. It's basically like text therapy. So you can text any time of the day to your therapist, and they have set hours when they'll read your text, but it's so great because like something will happen and I'll just start, get my phone out, start processing it. And I know that my therapist is going to have read everything whenever I come back to that situation. And it makes it so easy and convenient to do therapy on your own timeline, especially when you have kids and you're a parent. You also do want to make sure that you call the number on your insurance card if you have insurance and see what your benefits are. I got cut off there in the end. So I just wanted to reiterate that seeking therapy has been such a great experience for me. I know it can be kind of a vulnerable thing to do, but I think overall it takes a lot of bravery and a lot of strength to seek counseling and to seek therapy. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've sought therapy, what has gone well, and what are some challenges that you wish you could have avoided in hindsight. Make sure that you subscribe. That's the best way that you can help me continue to provide free content for you, which I love doing. Keep being weird, keep being neurodiverse. It's a gift, even though it's super challenging some days, I know, but you're amazing, you're incredible. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.